Hello, everybody. Hope you're doing good today. Pastor Zack here again. Hey, I'm so glad we got this moment of time together because I want to help you through these moments of time that are overwhelming. And as a pastor and just as an individual, I'm talking to people everywhere, and everybody feels a sense of being overwhelmed. In other words, you feel like you're drowning by all the stuff that is going on around us. We feel like we're covered up. We don't even know what we feel. We feel raw. We feel emotional. I just see it upon everybody. And a lot of people are dealing with that overwhelming feeling. I'm going to say it like that, like never before. Yesterday, if you were with me, I gave us a number of reasons why we're overwhelmed. Paul said it like this: in the last days, troublesome times, or the Bible, King James says, perilous times will come. They're troublesome times. They're difficult times. No matter what they are, perilous or whatever, they are very difficult times to deal with. And we all deal with them. Have you ever said like this, I feel so discouraged. I feel so broken. I feel so out of focus. And I hear people using those words, I feel. But I've learned this as a pastor: you can't always trust your feelings because the situations around us come, they're real at the moment, but I really can't put my trust in them. I feel like nobody loves me. I feel like nobody cares. I feel like I'm never going to get through. I literally come to feel hopeless. Well, friend, the psalmist said in Psalm 61, he said, when my heart is overwhelmed, lead me to the rock that is higher than I. In other words, he knew there was a safe place. There was a sure place. There was a solid place to be on. Listen, if you're overwhelmed today, listen, and you're feeling that way, we got to deal with something. We've got to deal with the truth. What is truth? I believe if there ever's been a time that we're in a battle for truth, I believe we're there. I believe that's one of the biggest warfares in our land and among people, is to know what is truth. Well, we got to go back. Something has to be a standard of truth that I'm going to build my life on. Because if I don't, and I live by my feelings will deceive me, and my feelings will have me down a path I'm not scheduled to go in. But Jesus said this in John 17:17. He said, thy word is truth. That was one of his last prayers as he was praying over his disciples. He's getting ready to go. Matter of fact, I'm going to turn there and I want to read it exactly as it is in the Bible. But Jesus was praying to the Father as he's getting ready to go. And he said in John chapter 17, I believe it's verse 16 and 17. He said, I pray for them. I pray that you do not take them out of the world, but that you should keep them from evil. They are not of the world, just as I am not of the world. Sanctify them or set them apart by your truth, for your word is truth. Somewhere I've got to find a standard of truth. And I believe the Bible is something, brothers and sisters, listen, my friends, that you and I are going to have to get back to. And I've got to look into the Word of God and see what God says about every situation. You know, he said this. He said, in these times are going to be troublesome. He said, in these times, you're going to be in distress. John 16:33, I quoted it to you yesterday. He said, in this world, you're going to have tribulation, but be of good cheer. I have overcome the world. So in the midst of the trouble, in the midst of the tribulation, Jesus said, cheer is there. Our joy is there. Peace is there. Why? Because he is that truth. He is that hope that we stand upon. The psalmist said in Psalms 119, he said, Lord, I hope in your word. The psalmist said in another place in the Psalms, when I say the psalmist, most of them were written by David. He said, I would have fainted had I not believed to see the goodness of the Lord in the land of the living. Why could he say that? Because he knew that God was true to who he was, and that truth was of God, and that he could rely upon him. That when God said, I'll be with you, I'll not leave you, I'll not forsake you, the psalmist knew that he had something something to stand on. Friend, if you're overwhelmed today, what is the truth that you're leaning on? I don't know about you, but I'm going to lean on the Word of God. Why don't you do it with me?